Hi, I'm Melissa Greiner. I'm the school counselor at Village School. And on behalf of all of us at Village, welcome to our school community. We are always so excited to have new families join us, and we can't wait to meet you and your child. Typically, when a student registers with us for the first time, we invite you and your child into Village School to meet with myself and our secretary in charge of registration, Charmaine Schraft. And we go over everything you need to know about how Village School operates. Obviously, we can't do that type of appointment right now due to the unique circumstances. So, in this message, I'm going to share with you an overview of Village School and the things you can be doing now to get set up for the upcoming school year. As we go through this information, remember that you can always pause this video to jot anything down if you'd like to, and then resume it when you're ready. I'll also be using some PowerPoint slides to share information. And in this same email that contains this video message is a copy of those slides, but without my voice recording. So you can just tab through the slides as you need to go back and check any information that you want to review again. So there are a few things that you can be doing now to prepare for the upcoming school year. The first is you need to submit your child's ensemble choice. All students at Village participate in a music ensemble, and I'll review the options for the music ensembles in a few minutes. You'll need to let us know which ensemble your child chooses to participate in this year. Be sure that your parent account is set up in Genesis, and be sure that you've signed up to receive notifications from the district. Familiarize yourself with our plans to restart and reopen during the pandemic. And make sure that we've received all of your child's records, such as their academic records, their medical records, and any other documentation that we might need to support your child here at school. I'm going to go over all of these in a bit more detail within the message. This is just a heads up so you can keep these topics in the back of your mind as we review the information. Village School has 4th and 5th grade students only. We are referred to as an upper elementary school because we are an elementary school, but only for the upper grades. In any given school year, we have between 700 to 750 students, and there's about 14 to 15 4th grade classes and about 14 to 15 5th grade classes. However, each class is about 20 to 25 students. So even though the size of the school can feel large, your child's experience within the classroom will still feel very personal. Here's our contact information for when you need to reach out to us. You'll definitely want to make note of and bookmark our district website, which is www.ww-p.org. A lot of information is communicated through the district website. Be sure that you have a copy of our school calendar. This is the calendar that will tell you when we're open, when we're closed, when we have early dismissals, and so on. I've included a copy of that calendar in the same email that contains this welcome video. You will want to know how to access it on the website in case it changes. So to access it on the website, go to the home page, calendars, academic calendars, and then you want to find the calendar for the 2020-2021 school year, the color version. It's important to look at the color version because it's color coded. So for example, days marked in red are days that we are closed, whereas days marked in yellow are days that we have an early dismissal and parent-teacher conferences. You'll find the key for the color coding in the upper right corner of the calendar, and then more detailed explanations about each day that has a color marked on it along the side. So for example, let's take a look at October 13th, color-coded in yellow. The yellow code means we have an early dismissal that day due to conferences. And I can see here on October 13th, it's an early dismissal day because there are conferences in grades 6 through 8, and an early dismissal day because there's a conference K through 5. Our school hours are typically from 8:40 to 3:15. Student arrival starts at 8:40, whether students arrive by bus or by parent, and dismissal begins at 3:15. These are our typical hours when we are not in the pandemic. These hours might be adjusted according to our restart and reopening plans for the pandemic. You can find the hours for early dismissal days or delayed opening days on our website. So to find that, we'll start from the home page, go up to parents and students, down to school hours, and then you'll see either the regular school day, a delayed opening, or early dismissal days. Notice there are two types of early dismissal days here, scheduled and unscheduled. A scheduled early dismissal day is a day where we've always planned to have an early dismissal, and it's included on this calendar here. So October 13th is a scheduled early dismissal day. So is February 9th. It's scheduled on this calendar. An unscheduled early dismissal day is an early dismissal day that we end up having unexpectedly, and it's not on this calendar. So let's say, for example, on Tuesday, February 2nd, we're expecting some snow, and we decide to have an early dismissal day on Tuesday, February 2nd. It wasn't scheduled to be an early dismissal day, but we decided to make it that way because of the weather. That's an unscheduled early dismissal day. Both early dismissal days follow the same start and end times. Both early dismissal days, students arrive at 8:40, and both days they'd be dismissed at 1 o'clock. The only difference is on a scheduled early dismissal day, there is no time blocked out for lunch. On an unscheduled early dismissal day, there is time blocked out for lunch. That is the only difference between the two. Village School is led by our principal, Ms. Barbara Gould, and our assistant principal, Mr. Guy Tolp. And they are pictured here with our mascot. Our mascot is the wolf, and his name is Polly. Our school motto is that everyone is a part of the pack. The same way the wolf, our mascot, is at its strongest when it's working together as a team with others. Those in the pack have each other's back. They're working together. The same way a wolf is at its strongest when working together with the pack, that is true for us here at Village School. We are at our best when the whole school community is working together and helping each other out. So we like to say that everyone here is a part of the pack. PAC also stands for the types of behaviors we like to instill in the students. We prompt them to use PAC behavior, with PAC referring to being peaceful, accountable, conscientious, and kind. As mentioned before, Village School has only 4th and 5th grade students, and we are upper elementary. Even though we serve the older grades, it still feels like an elementary school. So by that I mean the students are pretty much with the same teacher all day long. There's no bells, there's no lockers. They still have a special every day and recess every day. Our core academic areas are reading, writing, math, science, and social studies. The classes are all mixed in terms of their ability levels. So for example, we don't have a class tracked with advanced ability levels. In any given class, you'll find students who are on pace with our curriculum as expected, students who might be more advanced, or students who might need some more support. So the ability levels within each class are mixed. And we're able to differentiate instruction within each class to match each student's ability. Typically, what happens with any given subject is at the beginning of a certain unit, the teacher does some type of pre-assessment or some type of activity to gauge what each student already knows about that subject area. And then the teacher is able to differentiate the instruction accordingly. So let's say we're starting a math unit on multiplication. Prior to teaching multiplication, the teacher would have a way to gauge what each student in the class has already mastered with multiplication and what they need to work on. And then from there, the teacher can plan instruction for each student about how to build on areas they need to grow in. In terms of gifted and talented, we do not label students as gifted and talented, and we do not have any assessments to have a student enter a gifted and talented program. So for example, we don't have a gifted and talented math class or a gifted and talented writing class that students have to test into. Rather, our gifted and talented opportunities are open to all students. And instead of emphasizing a particular subject area, such as math or writing, it emphasizes students growing in their self-awareness and giving them opportunities to research and do projects on subject matter of really high interest to them. If you have questions about gifted and talented opportunities, you should reach out to Michelle Falanga. She is a staff member at Village School who specializes in our gifted and talented opportunities, and her email address is there for you. There's at least one special scheduled each day. Our specials are art, general music, and technology. They'll have each of those once per week. Spanish is another special, and they have that twice per week. Do not worry if they've never spoken Spanish before. That is not a problem. They'll also have physical education twice per week. They do not need to change for physical education. They just need to wear sneakers. And fifth grade students have health as a special. Fourth grade students do receive health. However, it's by their homeroom teacher and it's not a special. In addition to having general music as a special, all students participate in a music ensemble by either singing in the chorus or playing an instrument. Fourth graders can choose between chorus or orchestra. If they choose orchestra, they can play violin, viola, bass, or cello. Fifth graders can choose chorus or orchestra, or they have a third option. They can choose to play in the band. If they choose the band, they can play the flute, oboe, clarinet, or any of the other instruments listed for you here. Your child must choose one and only one ensemble. Each ensemble meets twice per week during the school day. If your child plays an instrument in either orchestra or band, your child does not need to have any previous experience with that instrument. They will receive one lesson in a small group each week during the school day to learn to play, in addition to the ensemble meeting twice per week. They are also expected to practice at home for 2 hours each week. It's important to note that you'll need to rent the instrument. Financial assistance is available for those who qualify. You can reach out to our main office to learn more about financial assistance. Your child may change their ensemble choice next school year. For example, if your child is in fourth grade and chose the chorus this year, they can choose to be in the orchestra or the band next year when they start fifth grade. The same is true when students go from fifth grade to sixth. You will need to tell us if your child is choosing chorus, orchestra, or band. If they are playing an instrument, we don't need to know which instrument at this time. We only need to know which ensemble, orchestra, or band, so we can set up their schedule accordingly. Please tell us your selection using the form provided in the same email that contains this message. Here is what it looks like. You provide your email address. There's an overview of the 3 ensembles. And then just let us know your child's name, their grade, and their ensemble selection. And then if you have any questions or comments, you can indicate that here and then click submit. Please complete this form as soon as possible, preferably within a day or 2 of receiving this message so that we can set up your child's schedule. If you have any questions, please email the supervisor for Fine and Performing Arts, which is Jeffrey Santoro. His email address is provided for you here. Teacher assignments will be available by the end of the first week of September. You can see who your child has through your parent account in Genesis. Once you know who your child has, you can see the teacher's welcome letter and anything else the teacher wants you to know by going to the teacher's webpage. To do that, go to the district's homepage, the school's drop-down menu, Village School, Teacher Web Pages. Go to VS Teachers for Village School teachers, then select the appropriate grade, and then you'll be able to choose the teacher. You'll also want to check out the supply list to make sure your child has everything that they need. To do that, you go to the district homepage, the school's drop-down menu, Village School, Supply Lists. At the time I'm making this video, the supply lists are still under construction, given that we are still fine-tuning our reopening plans, but they will be posted soon, so keep checking back periodically. You want to make sure that we have all of the records that pertain to your child. So the records that we need are things like report cards and test scores. If your child has an IEP, we need a copy of that. If they have a 504 plan, we would need a copy of that as well. And if there's any other legal documentation that pertains to your child, such as if one of his or her guardians has restricted access to that student's records, we would need a copy of that documentation in order for us to be able to comply with that. All of that type of documentation can be submitted to Charmaine Schraft, our secretary responsible for registration. Her email address and fax number are there for you. You also need to make sure that we have all of the necessary medical records, and those can be shared with our school nurse, Mary Ellen Glynn, and you'll see her email and fax number there as well. Any records that you've already uploaded through Gateway at the time of your initial registration does not need to be submitted again. We already have whatever you have uploaded to Gateway. But if there was something that you needed to share with us that you didn't upload through Gateway, make sure that we have received that. Our nurse, Ms. Glynn, has also been going through our medical records and reached out to any families who are missing anything. So if you received an email from Ms. Glynn asking for some additional medical records, please be sure to follow up with her and make sure that she has what she needs. One of the things that you should get done right away is making sure that your parent account is set up in Genesis. Genesis is the electronic system that we use to manage student information, so it's really important that you are able to access that system. You can access Genesis from the district homepage, and there's two ways to do that. The first is you can go to the parent and student dropdown, Genesis, parent sign-in. The second way you can access it is just scrolling to the bottom of the home page and clicking on the Genesis icon, which is that star, and then click on Parent Sign In. And then you enter your username and password. I believe that the information that you needed to create your Genesis account was provided to you in the initial registration process. If it was not provided to you at that time, or if you're having difficulty setting up your Genesis parent account, please contact the technology department using the email provided for you here. One of the first things you should do once your Genesis account is set up is make sure that all of your contact information is correct, such as your phone number, your email address, your home address, and emergency contact information. Anytime that we need to get in touch with you, such as if your child is not feeling well, or if the teacher wants to reach out to you, or if the district is having like an unexpected early dismissal, we get your contact information from Genesis. So if that information is not correct and up to date, we will not be able to reach you when we need to. So please make sure that information is entered and is correct. Your child's teacher assignment will also be posted to Genesis. If your child is going to be absent, you also let us know through the Genesis system. You would log in and enter their absence for that day and the reason for the absence. Genesis is also where you find out transportation information, such as your child's bus number and their bus stop. Before your child rides the bus, you need to download and print their bus pass. The bus pass must be provided to the bus driver the very first time your child rides the bus. So make sure your child has that bus pass in their hand the very first time they ride the bus and they give it to the driver. You also view your child's report cards on Genesis. Report cards are not mailed home and they're not sent home in the child's backpack. So to view your child's report card, you must be able to log into Genesis. And then in the future, as your child gets to older grades, Genesis is what's used to make their course selections. So as you can see, if you don't have your account set up in Genesis, it's going to be hard to do a lot of things with your child at school. So make sure that account is set up right away. Another thing you want to make sure you do right away is make sure that you are signed up to receive notifications from the district. The district notification system will keep you updated with any changes regarding our restart and reopening plans during the pandemic. It will also notify you about things like school closings, delayed openings, and early dismissals, transportation delays, and anything else that parents need to be notified about. So you want to make sure that you're signed up to receive our notifications. There are a few different ways that the district notifies the community about important information. One is you can opt in to receive phone messages, text alerts, or emails. This is in part why you want to make sure your contact information is correct in Genesis, because that system will be pulling your phone and email and text information from Genesis. So if that information is not correct, you will not be able to receive the notifications. You should receive a message prompting you to opt in within a few days of completing your registration with the district. Messages are also posted to the district website, and they're also posted to our social media accounts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, so you can follow us there. For more directions about how to sign up for notifications, you can go to the district homepage, About Us, Communication, and then open the Communication Information Flyer. It looks like this, and this will give you all the information that you need about which types of messages are communicated through which types of methods. I've also included a copy of this flyer in the same email that contains this welcome video for your reference. It's also important that you are familiar with how the district plans to restart and reopen within the pandemic. I'm not going to go through the plans here as they're quite lengthy, and also as the pandemic changes, the plans can change as well. So I want to make sure that you know how to access the up-to-date information. So to access our restart and reopening plans, you can do this through the district website. From the homepage, go to Newsroom, then News. And then here you'll be able to see our restart and reopening plan, information about our learning model options, how to access food benefits if you qualify, and so on and so forth. This is another reason why it's really important to sign up for our district notifications, because if those plans change, you will be made aware through the district notification system. So make sure that you're signed up for that. So I know that was a lot of information, but hopefully now you have a better understanding of your child's new school. To recap, here are the things that you want to do next and who you can reach out to with any questions. Submit your child's ensemble choice using the form provided in the same email that contains this message. Set up your parent account in Genesis and sign up to receive notifications from the district. Familiarize yourself with our plans to reopen and make sure that we have all of your child's records. If you have any questions, here's who you can reach out to. Please reach out to Charmaine Schraft, the Village School Secretary in charge of registration, to submit records, or if you have any general questions about registration or the school overall. You can reach out to me, the school counselor, if you need to discuss supporting your child's academic or behavioral needs. Please reach out to Mary Ellen Glynn, our school nurse, to submit medical records or if you have any medical concerns or questions. Please contact Jeffrey Santoro, our Supervisor of Fine and Performing Arts, with questions about Ensemble, and Michelle Falanga with any questions about gifted and talented programming. Please reach out to the Technology Department if you need help setting up your parent account in Genesis, and the Transportation Department if you have questions about the school bus. So once again, welcome to Village School. It is an honor to be trusted with your child, and we cannot wait to meet all of our new students. Please reach out to us with any questions that you have, and have a great rest of the day.